Hello guys, in today's video we will talk about top 10 dangerous places in the world. Number 1. Death Valley. Death Valley is a desert valley in eastern California, in the northern Mojave Desert, bordering the Great Basin Desert. It is thought to be the hottest place on Earth. During summer, Death Valley's Badwater Basin is the point of lowest elevation in North America, at 282 feet, 86 meters below sea level. It is 84.6 miles, 136.2 kilometers, east-southeast of Mount Whitney, the highest point in the contiguous United States, with an elevation of 14,505 feet, 4,421 meters. On the afternoon of July 10, 1913, the United States Weather Bureau recorded a high temperature of 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.7 degrees Celsius at Furnace Creek in Death Valley, which stands as the highest ambient air temperature ever recorded on the surface of the Earth. This reading, however, and several others taken in that period are disputed by some modern experts.
The Danakil Desert.
The Danakil Desert, or Afar Desert, is a desert in northeast Ethiopia, southern Eritrea, and northwestern Djibouti. Situated in the Afar Triangle, it stretches across 136,956 square kilometers, 52,879 square meters, of arid terrain. It is inhabited by a few Afar who engage in salt mining. The area is known for its volcanoes and extreme heat, with daytime temperatures surpassing 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Less than 25 millimeters of rainfall occurs each year. The Danakil Desert is one of the lowest and hottest places on Earth.
3. Snake Island.
Ilha da Queimada Grande, more commonly referred to as Snake Island, is an island off the coast of Brazil in the Atlantic Ocean. The island became famous for its abundant snakes, hence the name Snake Island. It is administered as part of the municipality of Itanaheim in the state of São Paulo. The island is small, with an area of only 43 hectares, 16 acres, and has a temperate climate. Its terrain varies from bare rock to rainforest. The island is the only natural home of the critically endangered venomous golden lancehead pit viper, Bothrops insularis, which has a diet of birds. The snakes became trapped on the island thousands of years ago, following the end of the last ice age when rising ocean levels disconnected the island from the mainland. The ensuing evolutionary pressure allowed the snakes to adapt to their new environment, increasing rapidly in population and rendering the island dangerous to public visitation.
4. Syria.
Syria, officially the Syrian Arab Republic, is a country in West Asia, located in the eastern Mediterranean and the Levant. Syria was established on 8 March 1920. It borders the Mediterranean Sea to the west, Turkey to the north, Iraq to the east and southeast, Jordan to the south, and Israel and Lebanon to the southwest. It is a republic under a transitional government and comprises 14 governorates. Damascus is the capital and largest city, with a population of 25 million across an area of 185,180 square kilometers, 71,500 square meters. It is the 57th most populous and 87th largest country.
5.
North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island is one of the Andaman Islands, an Indian archipelago in the Bay of Bengal, which also includes South Sentinel Island. The island is a protected area of India. It is home to the Sentinelese, an indigenous tribe in voluntary isolation who have defended, often by force, their protected isolation from the outside world. The island is about 8 kilometers, 5 miles, long, and 7 kilometers, 4 + 1/2 miles, wide, and its area is approximately 60 square kilometers, 23 square miles. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Regulation, 1956, prohibits travel to the island and any approach closer than 5 nautical miles, 9 kilometers, in order to protect the remaining tribal community from mainland infectious diseases against which they likely have no acquired immunity. The area is patrolled by the Indian Navy.
6. Lake Natron.
Lake Natron is a salt or alkaline lake located in North Ngorongoro district of Arusha region in Tanzania, with its far northern end crossing into Kenya. It is in the Gregory Rift, which is the eastern branch of the East African Rift. The lake is within the Lake Natron Basin, a Ramsar site wetland of international significance. It is the only regular breeding area for Africa's lesser flamingos, although this habitat is not protected and is under threat from planned development projects. This lake is fed principally by the southern Ewaso Ngiro River, which rises in central Kenya, and by mineral-rich hot springs. It is quite shallow, less than 3 meters, 9.8 feet, deep, and varies in width depending on its water level. The lake is a maximum of 57 kilometers long and 22 kilometers wide. The surrounding area receives irregular seasonal rainfall, mainly between December and May, totaling 800 millimeters per year. Temperatures at the lake are frequently above 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The chemical properties of the water are known to calcify the bodies of any living thing that
7. Mount Everest.
known locally as Sagarmatha, in Nepal, and Komalangma, in Tibet, is Earth's highest mountain above sea level. It lies in the Mahalangur Himal subrange of the Himalayas and marks part of the China-Nepal border at its summit. Its height was most recently measured in 2020 by Chinese and Nepali authorities as 8,848.86 meters, 29,031 feet, 8 + 1/2 in. Mount Everest attracts many climbers, including highly experienced mountaineers. There are 2 main climbing routes, one approaching the summit from the southeast in Nepal, known as the Standard Route, and the other from the north in Tibet. While not posing substantial technical climbing challenges on the Standard Route, Everest presents dangers such as altitude sickness, weather, and wind, as well as hazards from avalanches and the Khumbu icefall. As of May 2024, 340 people have died on Everest. Over 200 bodies remain on the mountain.
8.
Chernobyl Nuclear. The Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant Zone of Alienation, also called the 30-kilometer zone or simply the zone, was established shortly after the 1986 Chernobyl disaster in the Ukrainian SSR of the Soviet Union. Initially, Soviet authorities declared an exclusion zone spanning a 30-kilometer radius around the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, designating the area for evacuations and placing it under military control. Its borders have since been altered to cover a larger area of Ukraine. It includes the northernmost part of Vyshhorod Raion in Kyiv Oblast and also adjoins the Polyshy State Radioecological Reserve in neighboring Belarus. The Chernobyl Exclusion Zone is managed by an agency of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, while the power plant and its sarcophagus and the new safe confinement are administered separately.
9.
The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a loosely defined region in the North Atlantic Ocean, roughly bounded by Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Since the mid-20th century, it has been the focus of an urban legend suggesting that many aircraft, ships, and people have disappeared there under mysterious circumstances. However, extensive investigations by reputable sources, including the U.S. government and scientific organizations, have found no evidence of unusual activity, attributing reported incidents to natural phenomena, human error, and misinterpretation. While the Bermuda Triangle has a reputation for mystery, some experts argue that the number of disappearances is not statistically higher than in other heavily trafficked areas. Modern ships, planes, and weather forecasting technologies help to ensure safe passage through the area. 10. Caracas is contained entirely within a valley of the Venezuelan Central Range and is separated from the Caribbean coast by a roughly 15-kilometer expanse of El Avila National Park. The valley is relatively small and quite irregular, and the altitude varies from between 870 and 1,043 meters, 2,000 above sea level. The historic center lies at about 900 meters above sea level. This, along with the rapid population growth, has profoundly influenced the urban development of the city. The most elevated point of the capital district, wherein the city is located, is the Pico El Avila, which rises to 2,159 meters. Geologically, Caracas was formed in the late Cretaceous period, with much of the rest of the Caribbean, and sits on what is mostly metamorphic rock. This city is considered one of the most dangerous cities because of violent crime, robbery, and political instability.